Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Captain PilotKnight speaking, and I'd like to welcome you aboard for another tour of the wasteland. Today we're in Egret Tours Marina, and we're here to tour the MinuteMen Naval Yard. Before we get started, I do want to say I absolutely pushed the limit of this settlement to its max. Might have some crashes, might run into a little bit of anti-aliasing, and definitely going to see some frame rate drop. But stick with me. I'm pretty excited to show you guys how the Minutemen protect the Commonwealth's waterways. So here we are at the Naval Yard, and out front we've got a guard post. Got some spotlights up there and some turrets. Over there we've got another guard post that is guarded by Minutemen, or manned by Minutemen rather. He's got his siren. Got a couple of military style, I guess, pylons or restriction arms there, basically to keep out any large masses, or at least restrict their movement. Here in the front of the Naval Yard, you can see we've got at least one shipping container. Now, if you guys saw my last video, you know that we build all of our prefabs over at the Abernathy Farms construction yard, and then we ship them over here, or at least the ones that we need to work on all of the vessels that are being built. A little bit of history of the Naval Yard and the Minutemen Navy itself. So, the general, excuse me, went to the Provisional Commonwealth Government and told them, we need to start using the waterways. Nobody else in the Commonwealth can use the waterways. We need to pool our resources together and start building a navy. So the Provisional Commonwealth Government, knowing that the general was wise and fair, decided to commission a navy. Well, a navy needs ships, and to build ships, you got to have a shipyard, and that is where we're at now. We decided on Egret Tours Marina because it already had a pier and a warehouse. We quickly realized, though, that warehouse needed to be expanded, and so that's what we did. We tore down the old boathouse, and we built this brand new workshop. Now, as you can see, we've got a vessel up here in the dry dock that we're working on currently. This is one of our gunboat variants. The way that we get the vessel up on or into the workshop is by using these flatbed or modified flatbed train cars. So we've got the supports on the train car. The train car is rolled out along those tracks to a platform that's supported by a gantry system out over the water. The gantry system then lowers the platform with the train car on it. We can then either load or unload a vessel, raise the platform, and then simply use these winding wheels rather to pull the vessel back into the workshop. Wanted to make sure I had plenty of room and plenty of light, because we were going to be working on these large vessels in here. We've got our workshop stations over here on the right side. Lots of open area so that the workers can get around any of the boats that we're working on. Little door over there, a washing station as well. Over here we have our armory. All of my settlements have a well-stocked armory. I mean, the Minutemen are the main military force in the Commonwealth, and so I think it's important for them to have a good stockpile of arms near to hand. Just a little workspace area over here on this side, on the right side of the gantry. We have our gantry operator station up on top. We'll head over there so you guys can see that. For now, though, we're going to head upstairs, take a look at this boat that we've got sitting in the dry dock. This is one of our gunboat variants that we're building. You can think of it as like a PT boat or one of the river rats from the Vietnam War. And that's kind of what I based it on. Started with obviously the fishing boat and then just kind of worked from there. Got our turrets set up. Those are going to get put onto this vessel. And as you guys can see, my frame rate's really dropping. I'm trying to be as smooth as I can. But the Xbox does not like it when I turn back towards the main settlement. Anyway, back to the gunboat. Pretty well protected, a little bit sleeker vessel than some of the other ones that I've built. Over here you can see we've got some prefabs that are getting ready to go on, and our computer system that's going to be used to control the vessel. Computers will go up front along with the rest of the control systems to drive the vessel, as it were. I wanted to make sure that this room had plenty of light and that it was all focused on the actual workspace. So I used some lights from the SOE decorator, and I love them. They cast shadows and they really kill my frame rate, but they look fantastic. And I loved the idea of using that kind of lighting in this huge vaulted space. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. We'll head outside, take a good look at the gantry system and the rest of the docks that we've got out here. As we head down here onto the center dock, I'm sure you guys have noticed that I cleared out quite a bit and rebuilt over where the old boathouse was. It really hurt to tear down those native structures, but the boathouse wasn't big enough, and it didn't look the way I wanted it to, so I simply tore it down and rebuilt it. And in its place, I'm really happy with the product that I've got here. Now, this gantry system is, as I said, is designed to lower this platform into the water. It's not attached by anything but the cables from the winding wheels. Those I-beams that you see have been welded on and are simply there to work as guides around the actual gantry legs. Swing upstairs real quick and take a look at the actual operator station. Just a simple station. Wanted to make sure that he or she had as much visibility as they could get. So I just put glass walls all the way around this thing so that he can see flagmen, he can see the vessel, he can see all of his gantries in order to safely get the vessels in and out of the water. Over here on the other side of the dock, we have an actual dock, and currently we have one of our troop transports that is awaiting departure. This is one of the multiple variants that we have of the fishing boat, and this one is to move Minutemen around the Commonwealth. As you can see, it's heavily stocked with small arms so that the Minutemen can jump out at a moment's notice and either defend a settlement or take on gunners, do whatever really is necessary in the course of their duties. We head up here, we've got a little bit of a crow's nest so that the guards that are on duty on the vessel, the sailors, not the Marines, can keep the vessel protected. We've also got obviously quite a hefty turret system and another guard post up there on top of the cab. Heavily armed up front with missile turrets and spotlights, and that's the troop carrier. I have one more variant that I've built, and I haven't decided if I'm going to build larger vessels or if I'm just going to keep using these smaller vessels. But I have one more variant that's actually a cargo vessel. It's built off that same fishing boat, but it is used primarily to transport goods rather than men. Here we've got one of our smaller vessels. This is used usually by a 1 or 2 man crew, and it's just for running around the waterways. Not quite as heavily armed. We do have a laser turret and a bubble turret up top, and then it's got a motor to help just move patrol, really. Small patrol or recon craft that can move quickly through the waterways. Over there on the other side, you can see we've got tons of supplies that are going to be used on the vessels themselves. Now, these are not, in my head, these are not materials that are going to be transported somewhere else. These are materials that would be used by the ships themselves. So we've got some oil drums laid on the side that are for fuel oil, water in the blue, and then various crates with ammunition and rations. Up here we have our obligatory artillery piece. I just built up a platform and just stuck the artillery piece on it. Of course, it's manned by one of the Minutemen and guarded by turrets. And then back here, on the back side of the structures, we have our farm, and it produces plenty of food for the settlement here, and the workers for the workshop and the store owners. So here in the middle, I kept this pretty much like it was. Now, you can tell that I did do quite a bit of work over here on this native structure, and the second building I completely tore down and built something new. So here we've got our cafe, or our larger bar. On top of that is Phyllis, the woman who was here originally, her apartment. Down the street we have our shops and the clinic upstairs above the shops, and then down at the end we've got our diner and barracks, a patio bar on the top, and then around the corner our laundry station and our bathhouse. We'll pop in here and take a look at the bar, and as you can see, we've got some shelves up there with liquor, some foodstuffs behind the counter. Plenty of seating here in the bar, a little bit of artwork just to relieve sort of the stress of the daily grind. Here at Egret Tours, there is this collapsed floor section, which obviously I repaired the upper deck, but there's that floor section that's collapsed at about a 45-degree angle and you can't get rid of it. So I just bricked it in. I was already filling in the wall over there with brick wall pieces, and I decided, you know what, I don't like the look of it. I don't have anything to do with it. So I'll just wall it in, and that's why we've got this nice little L shape to the bar. Pop upstairs real quick and take a look at Phyllis's apartment. I think we might be frozen. Alright folks, we're going to try this again and hope the game doesn't crash. I've tried 4 times to go up into Phyllis's apartment and the game just doesn't want to let me do it. So we're going to try something different this time and hope that it works. We're going to go over here to the barracks, which I haven't had any problems in the past loading, so we'll see if that works. Here on the bottom floor of the barracks, we've got the diner. This is where everybody who lives here at Egret Tours Marina comes and takes their meals. Got a little kitchen over here where the folks can prepare the meals themselves, and then obviously just a cozy little diner over here where they can eat. Upstairs is the barracks area. Now, because this is a Minuteman settlement, it's just basic barracks. So we've got lockers. Everybody's got their own foot locker. And then here in the middle, and I love that they actually use this seating area, just this little seating area. This is a modular couch that, and I can't remember which mod gives me this. There's a couple that I have that actually allow me to do this. But as you can see, I've got an area here where they can sleep, and then some seating on that side over there. I love that they use it. It really tickles me to death that they use it. Back around over here, we have the bathhouse. And the lights aren't on. Why aren't the lights on? Well, I would say I'd pop into workshop mode and show you guys, but that's really not an option. I have so many mods installed now that loading up workshop mode takes, no joke, about 45 seconds to a minute. So I'm not even going to bother with it because I can't do anything. A couple of toilets. Everybody's got toilet paper. A big sink over here. Remember, cleanliness is godliness. It's not even next to it, it just is. And then around the corner we have a mirror, and looks like one of our workers is using that. And then obviously our shower and bathtub area. Make sure we got some clean towels over here and a hamper so you can throw your dirty clothes in there. And we actually have somewhere to wash our dirty clothes, and it's right here below the barracks. So I'll run down, show you that. Hopefully the game won't crash. We'll see. We're going to open this door and cross all our fingers. Pardon me for looking at the ground, but it's less the game has to render. Around the corner here, there's the bathhouse above us. Around the corner we have our laundry facilities. And again, I don't have any idea why the lights aren't working. This should all be lit up, but I do have a couple of working washing machines here. It's a crafting station that you can actually use to clean dirty clothes. You throw a dirty item plus some Abraxo cleaner in there, and it comes out as a clean item. In here we've got our water purification and gathering, and then back around the back there is our farm. Man, I wish I knew why the lights weren't working in there, but they are sure enough not working. Alright kids, let's cross our fingers and see if we can go into the shops. Again, a bunch of my lights aren't working, and I'm not entirely sure why, but the game hadn't crashed, so I can show you what's going on in here. I have a weapon shop on this side, and on this side over here we have our armor and clothing store. Now, a lot of the details that I'm using, such as those shelves, that little safe table, and then basically everything you see over there, came from a mod called CVC. At least that's what it's called in my mod list. I'll put a list of all my workshop mods that I've got, which is why nothing loads or takes so long to load. But I really like it. It gives me a lot of great details that you can stick into the settlement. Now upstairs, as I'm sure you saw on the door, we have the clinic, and I'm going real slow, hoping that the game won't freeze. Back over there we have a surgeon's chair, where you can see a surgeon and do everything that you would do in a normal surgeon's chair. And then on the right you have your recovery area with the bed and some stim packs there where the patients can recover. And then, as you see in front of us, we have a secretary who is here to greet you. This tile set that I'm using is either, I think it's Snap and Build, that gives you this kind of tile set. I used it in my castle build as well. I really like it. I don't use it a lot, but this felt like a good time to use it. I tried using normal red brick to try and match the building next door, and I just didn't feel right. But this I thought worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. That's about it for the marina. Take one more stab up here at Phyllis's apartment and see if we can get that to work. And if this doesn't work, we'll just go up to the patio and we'll finish up the tour. Maybe if I look down so the game doesn't have to draw all the things. It's a bad shot. So here in Phyllis's apartment, you can see we've got the native floor and then the floor that I put in. She's got her own little lounge area over here. Another chase over there, her computer. Some of her personal effects there up top. And if we go really slowly, might be able to show you her actual bedroom. There's her bed, and over here is just kind of her personal living space. So she's got a couple of shelves with some food, her alcohol, just in case she doesn't really want to socialize with any of the rest of the settlers here in the settlement. Main bar again, everybody's hanging out. One more thing I want to show you guys, and we'll wrap up the tour for today. So, on top of my barracks, I decided that the workers needed their own place to relax, besides just the diner. That's really just for taking their meals. And so, I just stuck a little rooftop patio bar. Simple, easy, not too complicated. Some tables, chairs. We got a bar. This dude showed up to my settlement with these awesome, glorious mutton chops, and I decided immediately that he was going to be a bartender and wear a bowler hat. Because if you've got chops like that, you can rock a bowler hat. But that's about it for the Naval Yard. It's where we build our ships. It's where we maintain our ships, so that we can patrol the Commonwealth and keep everyone safe at a minute's notice. Well, folks, I want to thank you once again for joining us today on our tour of Egret Tours Marina, MinuteMen Naval Yard. Hope you had a smooth ride. Hope you saw some things you like. If you did, feel free to imitate, emulate, or even steal, because if you were stealing my ideas, that means you're watching the videos, and I appreciate that. Be on the lookout in the next few weeks for our tour of the Taffington Boathouse. Got another naval theme. I'm excited to show you that. As some of you may or may not know, I am an actual airline pilot for my day job, and I'm just about done with my massive spectacle aisle build. Let's just say that when the Minutemen appropriated some technology from the Brotherhood of Steel, once they came to the Commonwealth, that they took that technology and expanded well beyond anything that the Brotherhood could ever have imagined. My spectacle aisle build was inspired both by my love for aviation and the discovery of some pretty cool set pieces in one of the mods that I installed. Again, want to apologize for the frame rate and the cuts. That's not how I like to do things, but I really pushed this build well beyond what the Xbox or the game could handle. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you'll join us next time.